Hey guys, Justin Bryant here from selfmadesuccess.com. In this video, I'm going to show you 6 work-at-home jobs that are pretty easy to start in 2017. And these are jobs that won't require, in many cases, a major degree or a lot of background experience or anything like that. You may need to be fairly good with a computer in most cases, and in some cases you may be required to have pretty decent people skills. But other than that, these are jobs you can actually do full-time or part-time, and you can work completely from home, basically with a computer, maybe a phone, depending on the job, and you have a lot more freedom to pick a career where you don't have to commute, spend a bunch of money on gas, and deal with a bunch of other coworkers and things like that. The first job you might want to look into is being a transcriptionist. So this is pretty easy because all you really do is you basically take an audio file and you turn it into text. So there's a few different ways you could apply this. Now, you can apply on places like Indeed.com, of course, Monster.com. Those are two of the biggest job finder networks. And, of course, Upwork is another one if you want to go for more freelancing. But when it comes to transcribing specifically, transcribeme.com is a place that you could get started where they hire specifically transcriptionists. So you'll take an audio file from a video, from a interview, from a podcast, from maybe even music. I don't know if that's really a thing or not, but you'll turn that into a text file, and they'll use it for different professions and things like that. But it's pretty simple. All you have to do, be good at listening to people. Maybe if you're good at making out what people say with their accents even, then just type it up, do it quickly, and it's a pretty easy job. So a few places that do that are transcribeme.com and tigerfish.com. You can apply here. This is the application page. By the way, I'll have a link to all these pages, all these resources, and I'll have the video notes and related content all on one page for you. So don't worry about trying to find all these websites and things like that right now. I'll have it in one place for you in the video description and on selfmadesuccess.com. So the salary outlook for a transcriptionist is right around $30,000 a year nationally in the US, and it's a pretty solid salary considering you don't really need to be super qualified in any one area to do a job like this. So as just a quick example of some people who hire transcriptionists would be people who do videos, like say YouTube videos. Believe it or not, a lot of people make a living from doing videos, or they do interviews and post them on YouTube or something like that, and they'll get a transcriptionist to take their text and turn it into a blog post, or they'll turn it into a book or something like that, or part of a book, and they'll use it for many different situations, or they'll just edit the transcription that YouTube creates automatically, and then they'll publish that, and it'll help their video rank better. But if you look at YouTube, you go to subtitles, you'll see that it does an automatic one, but it doesn't do punctuation, capitalization, and it's not something you can just copy and paste into a website. It needs a lot of work. So a transcriptionist, for example, might do something like that. So that's kind of the outlook of that. And it's a pretty easy career to get into, and it's completely online work. Number 2, you could be a virtual assistant. And That is not something you would probably find on typical job websites as much, although you will find them on freelance websites like Upwork. And a virtual assistant is typically someone who does a service by the job or is hired as a virtual assistant as part of a firm that works with specific entrepreneurs and people like that, or works solo and mainly focuses on one person or maybe a few people. Entrepreneurs, especially people who work from home and things like that. If you've ever read like The 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, you know that he is somebody who hires people like that. He is a full-time entrepreneur, podcaster, and best-selling writer. And a virtual assistant is somebody who basically takes notes, takes instructions given to them by the specific client, and just performs easier tasks that the entrepreneur or client doesn't have time to do themselves. So as you make more money, for instance, as a business owner, you start to outsource and have people take care of things that just are tedious or just you don't have time to do or you just don't like doing. So one place that hires and helps you get jobs as virtual assistants is belaysolutions.com. So you can go there, you can find a VA or apply to be a VA, and that is one great place to do it. Another place is Time, etc. or timeetc.com. They also help you become a virtual assistant, give you some background knowledge, and help you apply for that type of position. As far as the salary goes for a virtual assistant, you can expect maybe around 20 to 35,000, maybe even more. Kind of depends on who your client is, whether you work with a firm, whether you work by yourself or as a freelancer. And there's different ways to do this. American virtual assistants tend to earn a lot more. And you really need to distinguish yourself because there are many people who hire virtual assistants overseas because it can be all done online. But a good virtual assistant that you can trust is a very valuable relationship to have, and they can take care of a lot of things for you. But just make sure that you prove your trustworthiness or you work with a good firm if you're going to do something like that. So definitely look into becoming a virtual assistant if you want just a fairly easygoing online career. Number 3, you could be an online chat customer support rep. So there's different types of customer support. One that you can actually do online from home is online chat support or even email support. So this is becoming a lot more popular, especially when you have people like millennials and younger generations coming up that are not used to making a lot of phone calls and don't really want to wait on a rep to call them back or email them back. They would rather do a live chat. So you can find different jobs for this on Indeed, Monster, and the typical job websites. You might be able to do a little bit of customer support freelancing, but it's not really a practical thing to do. One place that does hire people to do this type of work is Convergys.com, and you can kind of read about them here. That's one place I would look first when it comes to being kind of online customer support rep. As an example, of course, when I was on Transcribe Me just a second ago, you notice the customer chat comes up here. I didn't even click on anything, and it's already got somebody coming up to let you know that there's a rep here to help you. That's the kind of work you would do. It'd typically have a picture of yourself right here, your first name, and you would help people via chat where they basically just type back and forth, kind of like text messaging, and help people with their customer support problems. Other places I would definitely recommend that you apply to for these types of jobs is hosting websites. As you can see here, there's another one who is a sales. They have sales consultants. They have people who do, customer support. But these types of chat box reps can work completely from home and help a lot of people in very little time. A lot of times you'll have templates too that you can copy and paste for certain situations. But WP Engine, maybe HostGator, maybe Bluehost, GoDaddy is a domain site, but some of these hosting and domain sites and things like that, people with websites typically need a lot of customer support, and these types of sites tend to help millions of websites run because they're hosted on the HostGator or WP Engine servers. So they need a lot of customer support reps, and chat support is one of the main forms of customer service that they do. So those are the types of places I would apply to first. Convergys, you have your typical job sites, and then maybe hosting and domain websites. The job outlook is pretty decent. It pays around 30 to 35,000 nationwide average in the United States, and just about every company with a big website has them now. Different ones pay more than others, but you can definitely make a decent salary out of doing that without having to have much of a background or having to worry about management or anything like that. It's just you learn how the website works, you learn how the products work, and you help people solve their problems by just knowing more about it than anyone else. Number 4, online call centers. There are plenty of call centers now that there are people who still call in looking for that person-to-person customer support, maybe hearing an actual voice. They don't want to just chat back and forth. Maybe they have an old school way of trying to get help, maybe older clients, things like that. People rely more on call centers than they would, say, technology like millennials would. If you're pretty good on the phone, you're pretty good at just talking to people and helping people with just about any normal problem, you might try liveops.com. That's a great place to apply to become an agent that can work from home and do call center support and maybe even sales and things like that. Also, workingsolutions.com is another place you might go to for that. As you can see, they've had many big name clients like Dell, Expedia, Microsoft, and they're all about call support and things like that. Great place to try to find a work at home job. You just go up here, it says work at home, and click apply. You can find out more information and things like that and just become an agent with them. Typical salary for this, about $25,000 a year nationwide in the United States. You'll have to check with your other countries for these types of numbers, but I use glassdoor.com/salaries to find these if you want to go there to figure out what the real salary range is for just about any job. Glassdoor.com is a great place to go. I'll have links to all this stuff for you though. And so you could look into that if you're good with people especially, and you don't mind talking on the phone. Number 5, you could work from home as a writer/blogger. So more and more websites are focusing more and more on their online business than they are on say having a traditional brick and mortar business where they have to have a lease space, they have to have parking spaces, they have to have all kinds of equipment and things like that. More and more jobs are going online, more and more businesses are going online and focusing more on websites. So a lot of people therefore are not buying as many traditional magazines and printed books and newspapers and things like that. Everything is going digital. So we need more digital writers and bloggers because of this. And a great place, one of the best places online to find these types of jobs as a blogger of some sort or a writer who can work completely from home is problogger.com/jobs. This is a place where you can basically find nothing but jobs related to blogging, full-time, part-time, freelance, contract, anything that you're looking for depending on how much time you have and what you need to earn. You will find these types of jobs on problogger.com. And if you're good at writing, if you feel like you can crank out a 1,000-word article pretty quickly without a lot of errors, then this might be something you definitely want to look into. And you might end up being somebody who does really well and does something for a really big website like this. And maybe like Forbes, for instance. And you never know what kind of work you could get. But Forbes has some great writers, for instance, that aren't regular contributors and actually work all the time from basically writing articles as an employee instead of just writing one or two articles every once in a while on the site. So a lot of these big name sites, they'll have full-time writers who just do nothing but blogging. Or you could even work your way up to an editing position. But blogger salaries, typically around $30,000. It's hard to tell based on a certain city how much you would make because this is traditionally blogging is all online now. And it's one of those things where you can do part-time, full-time, contract, freelance, different ways. You can sell by the post. I mean, there's a lot of different ways you can get into blogging, but you can expect to make pretty decent money, especially if you get a full-time position doing this. And last but not least is data entry, another pretty easy home-based job that you can get into. You'll definitely find a lot of these on Indeed and Monster.com. Another great place is just about any freelancing site, especially Upwork. This is one of the biggest ones. And so any of those three main sites, you can find data entry jobs for full-time, part-time, whatever it is, freelance. As far as finding specific places that focus on data entry and online jobs like this, I'll have a link to this list here called Online Data Entry Jobs from Home Without Investment. These are different types of careers where you can do data entry, whether it's actually as a job or more on your own time, kind of a side gig type thing. This is a great list of different opportunities that you could try out and places you could go to do them. I'll have that link for you in the show notes. Also, there's a small website called homewiththekids.com, and they do a lot of job postings where you basically can work from home, and data entry is always one of the big focuses on these types of posts. So that's another place you can check. And as far as salary goes for data entry, working from home, you can expect around $25,000 a year average, and it's something you can, like I said, do 100% online. You might use your experience with Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, or the Google equivalent, which would be Google Slides and Google Docs. And if you could just type well and things like that, and you can look off maybe a dual monitor setup and type very quickly and just help people with these types of things, it can be an easy, very low-key, low-pressure job that you can do 100% from home. So those are 6 great jobs you can look into that don't require too much of a high education level or background experience. If you feel like you got something from this video, if you feel like you maybe learned about some places you can go to find jobs like these and things like that. Please like and subscribe so I can create more videos like this for you. If there are some other type of pretty easy going jobs that wouldn't be too hard to learn, that can be done 100% from home and are legitimate jobs that I didn't mention, or if you want to just let me know what you thought about the video, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. I'm always looking for feedback and to kind of create conversation on these videos to help anyone who wants to watch. And also, I'll have all the video notes, as I mentioned earlier, the links, resources, and related content to this video all in one page for you at selfmadesuccess.com. You can find that page in the video description as well. So other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you have a great day.